let's start. The first question is about the brain. Remember, we said that the human impact on environment, human response to the environment, yes, is divided. What brings about response to the environment? What makes the person to respond to the environment? It is the nervous system and its receptors. You understand? Because when you talk about the nervous system, we can talk about the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. So the receptors, these are the eyes, the ears, the skin, the what. So they bring about, they coordinate together so that they bring about the change in the environment. So the central nervous system, the nervous system is divided into two. Nervous system, we say that is divided into two. That is the central nervous system, and the peripheral nervous system. In the central nervous system is divided into two. That is the brain and the spinal cord. So we're going to look at the brain first. Let's go to the brain. They're saying that you need to know how to label everything. In this case, what is point A? We will see that point A is the medulla oblongata, and then E, spinal cord, and then B, cerebellum, and then C, corpus callosum. Corpus callosum.
No, corpus callosum.
Corpus callosum.
Corpus callosum.
Corpus.
So it's
Okay.
callosum. We don't need to speak.
Someone was saying corpus luteum.
No.
Okay. And then what is B? Cerebrum, the biggest part of the brain. Now, you need to know the function of each. So let me just do a recap of the functions. Number one, B, this cerebrum is the biggest. It has three functions. Number one is the center for higher thought processes. That is the reasoning, memory, and judgment. If your reasoning is not, so it means that the problem is the cerebrum. If you can't remember what I've taught you today, then I will know that the problem is what? Is the cerebrum. So now I can judge the capacity of your what? Cerebrum. Yes. If I ask you, Sandion, the question and you can't answer, then I'll know, okay, now the cerebrum is big or Sandion, or big. All right. So it is a center for higher thought process, that is memory, reasoning, and judgment. Number two, it receives and interprets all sensations. That is the hearing, the sight, the touch is the pressure or the skin, and then you the taste, all those things is sensation. Then the another one is voluntary movement. Voluntary movement, actions, yes. Yeah, it controls all voluntary action. Please don't confuse voluntary movement and voluntary actions. Yes, so that is cerebrum. And then when you go to corpus callosum, the bundle of fibers, the function is it connects the two hemispheres together. That is the left and the right hemisphere. When you cut your brain into two pieces, longitudinally, then you'll find out that it has the left and the right. So it is the corpus callosum which combines the two hemispheres together. The second function, it allows the communication between the two hemispheres. Yes, so that is corpus. And then we have cerebellum. The function of cerebellum is it coordinates
voluntary action.
You are messing them up. Coordinates voluntary actions. Coordinates voluntary movement. Yes,
coordinates
yes,
involuntary actions.
It's saying that coordinates
Involuntary.
You're saying what?
Coordinates involuntary actions.
Coordinates involuntary actions. Voluntary movement. Let's go back to our distinction material book. This is what I'm saying. This. It's here. Coordinates or voluntary movement. The involuntary is being controlled by this medulla oblongata. Why?
Oblongata,
Because
okay.
it's next to the spinal cord. And the spinal cord, the function of spinal cord is for reflex action, which are involuntary. You understand? So this one coordinates the what? The all voluntary movements, not actions, but movements. Okay. Then also it controls balance and equilibrium.
Balance.
Sometimes you call it muscle tone. Yes.
Maintain balance.
Eh?
Tension.
Muscle tension is the same thing. Then we have medulla oblongata. It controls
Involuntary.
involuntary, not involuntary movement. Which involuntary movement are you talking about? It coordinates, it controls voluntary actions.
Involuntary.
Yes.
Action.
Did I say voluntary?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. It controls voluntary actions. For example,
Involuntary.
did I say voluntary? Because you are disturbing me. Thank you. It controls involuntary actions. For example,
Breathing.
breathing.
Oh.
That is not voluntary actions. Breathing.
Heart
Heartbeat.
rate.
Heartbeat.
Heartbeat.
Not hunger.
Hunger is being controlled by hypothalamus.
Yes.
People are giving me answers. Okay.
So
Yes, you see, it controls all involuntary actions. For example, heartbeat,
Heartbeat
breathing.
and breathing.
Yes. There is also other voluntary, involuntary. I don't know why I'm talking about voluntary. There's also other
yeah.
blinking of the eye. Eh?
Hiccups. This thing. Hiccups. Yeah.
Guys, don't just confuse voluntary action just like that and reflex actions. Reflex actions are involuntary actions. You understand? But the difference between the voluntary action as voluntary action and the sorry, did I say voluntary?
Yes.
Involuntary actions, the difference between involuntary actions and reflex action is reflex action. They are responsible for protecting the body from danger. Yes, from danger. While involuntary action, these are actions you don't have control over, but they might not be necessarily meaning protecting your body. Breathing is involuntary action. However much heartbeat is involuntary action. You don't have control over it. However much it is not protecting your body. Some of you tell us that, yeah, when you leave, my heart will break as if it's the guy controlling the heart. It's not, man. It's not. It's not. It is involuntary. So we go to the next one. So I think we have seen the functions of the parts of the brain. Then we have the pituitary gland and then the hypothalamus. So when we talk about the pituitary gland, we're going to look at it more. Yeah, in the endocrine. And then we're going to look at also hypothalamus. Hypothalamus is for hunger, sleep, thirsty, body temperature, emotions. If someone is too moody, we know that, oh, your hypothalamus may be. Sorry?
Hypothalamus works with homeostasis.
Hypothalamus works with homeostasis. It's because hypothalamus
Yes.
releases some of the hormones which are being used. So now you need to also to know that I'm coming.
Is the pituitary gland if they are asking in during in the
Exam.
nervous system? No, if they're asking a question, the function of the pituitary gland, should I just say it produces hormone?
It produces hormone. Give an example at least. Give one or two. Don't just it produces hormones.
No,
which hormones?
Just on nervous system. That's
At least give an example.
Okay.
Yes. If they ask you a question here that what's the function of the pituitary gland, that's what she's asking. That can she just say it produces hormone? So there are so many glands which produce hormone. So it's better maybe you mention one or two hormones. Yes. So that at least we know that you know what you're talking about. How is the brain protected? The brain is protected by the cranium. Remember, the cranium is the brain box. There's a difference between the cranium and the skull. Skull involves what? The mouth and the jaws and everything. But cranium is only the brain box. Yes, so that is it. Meninges, the layers which also surrounds the brain. Yes. Some books they talk about the meninges, but we don't ask you. Yeah, those, if you find them, the Piamara, the Dioramara, the arachnoids, we don't need them. We just need to know that meninges, those are the brains surrounding those are the membranes surrounding the brain, which protect the what? The brain. Yes, and also it's being protected by the cerebrospinal fluid. Yes. Why do we talk about spinal fluid? Because it's cerebral, meaning that it covers the brain, and then it covers also the spinal cord. Yes. So those are the functions which you need to know. And then now if we go back to our question, identify part A. Let's identify part A together so that now we can run away. Part A, we said it's what? Medulla oblongata. Guys, yes, please remember this. The first swelling is not medulla oblongata. The first swelling is called a pons. So we don't ask you this anymore. It's a pons. So the second swelling is what you call medulla oblongata. Then C is what? Corpus callosum. B is
D is the cerebellum.
cerebellum. State three functions of part B. We say that
Control voluntary thought process.
is a center for higher thought processes, e.g., memory, reasoning, and judgment.
Control voluntary action.
Controls voluntary actions. And then,
I know.
do you see me?
Oh,
Do you hear me?
receive
Ah,
and interpret sensation from a sense organ.
okay. Receives and interprets all sensations. Is it clear? Yes. So now we have seen. So please don't go the paper without knowing that such functions. Let's go maybe look at two questions of the brain again. So when you give you a diagram, label them. What is A? Pituitary gland or hypophysis. What is B? Cerebrum. Zintle, what is C?
Corpus callosum.
Corpus callosum. What is D?
Cerebellum.
Cerebellum. And then Sandion, what is E? Spinal cord. Right, now we are starting. They're saying that memorizing a cell phone, meaning that which part of the brain result in the memorizing of the cell phone number?
B.
I mean, cerebrum.
B, which is cerebrum. Coordinates all
Cerebrum.
voluntary movements.
B.
Cerebellum. Secretes hormones.
A. Pituitary gland.
A, pituitary gland. And then Susan, connecting two hemispheres together. Zintle?
It's C, sir.
So Susan has is her first class today. So yeah, she need to adapt, ne? Yeah, Susan, here we ask you questions, ne? We ask you questions. So if we give you homework, make sure that you do your homework, because the next class we're gonna fire you questions, ne? Yes.
Okay.
All right. They're saying that it connects two hemispheres together. That is corpus callosum. That is
Callosum.
party C. Corpus
C.
callosum.
Callosum.
Then they're saying that reflex action that occurs when stepping on barefoot. We said that which part of the brain, which part of the central nervous system controls voluntary action, controls reflex actions.
E. Spinal cord.
It's the
Spinal
spinal
cord.
cord. Right. We got the next question. Yeah. So now, this is a neuron. A neuron we have three kinds of neurons. We have the sensory neuron. It means that it's connected to the sense organ. We have the motor neuron. It's connected to the effector. and then we have the connector neuron, which connects the two neurons together. This is what I'm saying. The structure of, yeah, those are the three neurons we are talking about. So all the three neurons, they have a cell body. It's a cell body, it's a cell body. But where the position of the cell body will differ. The motor neuron is at the terminal, while the connector neuron, we don't usually ask you connector neuron, we usually ask you A and B, meaning that sensory neuron and then motor neuron. So we ask you the motor neuron and we ask you the sensory neuron. So relay neuron or connector neuron or interneuron, all those are its names. The cell body is, should I say, is in the middle or the center, while the sensory neuron, it projects out along the neuron.
Just say that sensory neuron is pregnant.
It's pregnant.
Yes.
Okay.
Then interneuron, like we don't usually
No,
ask
Sensory neuron is pregnant.
out, it's out.
Or
Still there, like
it's in
Guy, don't think about pregnancy here. Okay, as long as you are able to identify the structure of what? Of these neurons. But all of them, they have the same parts. All right, let's go back to our question. We have part A, which we call the dendrites. We have part B, this one, the shaft, which we call the axon. We have part C, which we call the myelin sheath. So,
I'm not sure the axon.
then we have the cell body. In the cell body, we have the nucleus.
Sir, there is this question. You see where you point on the nucleus, then you just point down the nucleus and they say out what is it? And I go cell body. Cell body, it was right.
You are saying?
That there's a question I was asking. Where you point on the nucleus, then the thing was down the nucleus, and it's still like, what is it?
The thing was here.
Yeah, no, inside.
Okay, this is a cell. The cell has a cytoplasm, the fluid inside. It's called a cytoplasm.
Cell body. Cell body.
Listen, it has a cytoplasm. It has a cell membrane. Cell membrane. Yeah, the whole of it is the cell body. And then this is the nucleus. It's a cell. It's just a modified cell. The same way you are saying a sperm, the ovum is a normal cell, but it's modified to suit its function for reproduction. This one is modified to suit its function for transmission of what? An impulse. But it is supposed to have the parts of the cell. Yes, so it has the cytoplasm, it has the nucleus, it has the everything. Yes.
Okay.
So now let's start now. I've labeled them for you. So we say that this C is the myelin sheath. So we need to know the function of all. Yes. The first function, we need to know that these projections, which you call the dendrites, they bring impulse to the cell body. So they bring the impulse. The impulse is the message, the electrical message. Do you understand? In the body. Yes. So it brings the impulse to the cell body, while the axon, it takes impulse away from the cell body. So you need to know that. Then we have the myelin sheath. This one insulates. Yes. So when it insulates, it's speeding up. Why? Because there is no leakage of this electricity. Remember, this is an electrical message. It is an electrical message. So it insulates. So if it is insulating, then it means that it helps in the speeding up of what? Of the impulse. So, yeah, That's it. Then the nucleus, we know that it controls cells' activities, and then yeah. So now let's ask the asking questions here. Identify the type of neuron represented in the diagram. The cell body is at the end. So what's the answer? It's the motor neuron. State one function of B.
Who is B?
B is the axon. What did we say?
We say that
It
B
takes
is
out
transmit-
Impulse away.
transmit-
Let me hear from the people online. You are saying
transmitting impulses away from the cell body,
from the what?
from the cell body.
Okay, transmits impulse away from the cell body. And love, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Then you're saying that they're saying that state one. Okay, we're done. Explain the role of part C. What is part C? What's the function of part C in actual sense? What did we say?
Speed up the transmission.
Speed up the transmission of impulse. How does it speed up? It insulates,
Oh, it insulates.
yeah, the axon, and then speeds it up. You understand? Yes. Or it speeds up the transmission of the impulse by insulating the axon. Yes. Then they're saying that because it's 2 marks, so they will look for 2 points. Ne? For insulation and then the speeding up. So those are the 2 marks. Explain the consequences of reflex action if the diagram, if the neuron shown in the diagram above is damaged. So in this case, we need to know the reflex arc.
Mhm.
To know it better, we need to know the reflex arc. So if the motor neuron is damaged,
The impulse from the sensory. Or must
The
you say
imp-
like the whole thing?
I don't know.
No.
It's 2 marks.
Yeah.
It's 2 marks.
Say the impulse from the sensory neuron, right? Won't get transmitted to the motor neuron in order for the effector to respond to
Can I summarize?
Okay, summarize anyway.
The impulse won't be transmitted to the muscle, so the individual won't be able to
always
respond.
be the muscle able
to
to
the
the
stimulus.
effector. To
Ah.
the
The
effector.
effector, if
The
not-
effect. Okay.
It's not always the
The person will be able to feel the pain. The person will be able to detect the stimulus, but won't be able to respond.
respond.
Simple. Okay, remember, the reflex arc is simple. It's a simple thing. The reflex arc. You can't draw it. You just go to the. It's a simple thing. For example, I call it Mr. M
W.
and Mrs. W. They have a bow tie. No, I do a bow tie. You know a bow tie, ne?
Yes.
A bow tie is like this, isn't it? And remember, the bow tie has a button in the middle. And then there are some monsters that,
Will they ever ask us to draw?
if you know how to draw, then you'll be able to label. You'll be able to know how to label. But if you don't know how to draw, definitely the chances are high that you won't know how to label it.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that. I
You
know.
go and think about the synapse. With yellow. Synapse.
The synapse.
Yeah, just like yellow.
You see? Now,
Do a candle for the sensor, for the receptor. No, the receptor is the finger.
there's that swelling there, ne?
Is it gang?
The ganglion. Okay. So now if this is the finger, if this is your big finger, yeah. If that is your big finger, ne? Big like that. Don't know whether it's nice or ugly. Okay. Now it means that this is this is the reflex. Reflex? Reflex? Ah, yes, it's a reflex act. It's a path traveled by the impulse during the reflex action. You understand? And these are the neurons. This is the sensory neuron. This is the connector neuron. And then this is the motor neuron. You understand? So this is the receptor. It is connected to the sensory neuron. Actually, this is the sense organ. Hence the word sense. The neuron which is connected there, it's a sensory neuron. Then, if this is the spinal cord, remember the sensory neuron has the cell body along the neuron, isn't it? Yes, it is swelling. You see, it is in the middle. So that's why it's also shown here that it's along. Then it continues.
Between the cell body of the sensory neuron and the ganglion, or is it just
No. The ganglion. So the swelling is called the ganglion. What is in the ganglion is the cell body. You understand? And because this ganglion is found on the dorsal root, even you can say it's the dorsal root ganglion. Yes. So now where the two neurons connect together, we call it a synapse. They can ask you what is the function of the synapse. There is one student who asked me yesterday. I don't know whether it was in love or I don't know. I think so. He was asking, ne? Was it you in love about the synapse? Is in love in class. Okay, I was asking what's the function of the synapse? The function of the synapse is to allow the impulse to move in one direction. Yes, the impulse moves in one direction. So that's the function of the what? The synapse. So now, and also it also connects the two neurons together. So now you have the interneuron, and then now after that, the interneuron connects the motor neuron, and then the motor neuron moves out of the spinal cord via the ventral root. So this root, X, is a ventral root. Then it comes here to the muscles. If it comes here to the muscles, then it is what? It is the effector. Remember, we said that muscles and glands are examples of effector. So now, when we come back here, and then if we say that now, if you block this, you block it, meaning that the impulse cannot move. It means that this person, this neuron will be able to work, and this neuron will be able to work, meaning that the person won't be able to feel. Yes, the person will not be able to feel, but the person will be able to respond. You see? Yes. So that is the meaning. And then now this one, if this is the one which is blocked, if this one is the one which is what? Which is blocked, ne? But this one is working, then it means that the person will be able to feel, but the person will not be able to respond. So if you block A, the person will not be able to sense, basically, but you will be able to respond. If block B, the person will be able to sense, but will not be able to respond. Think I'm clear?
Yes.
Am I speaking sense? Okay. So now if we go back to our question here, we'll see that I think now that question is being answered properly, that what will happen if the reflex action, if the neuron shown in the diagram above is damaged, if the motor neuron is damaged, the person will be able to feel or to detect the stimulus, but will not be able to respond. Yes. So let's do a wind up. What is A? B?
Can you see the nucleus cell?
Wait a moment. Saying that
Not easy shame.
someone is saying that it's not easy. Oh, all right. Yes. They're saying that what is A? We said A is A, the dendrite. B is what? The nucleus. The nucleus, the cell body is the whole thing. This thing, ne? Yes. And then what is C? Is the axon. What is D? Myelin sheath. Myelin sheath. How do you call the myelin sheath in English? What do we say about the myelin sheath?
Do we have another word for this one? I can't pronounce it.
There is no any other one. No, there is no any other one. It's called myelin sheath. That's it. That's it. Nothing else. Ne? Yes. Someone wants to change it to something else. It's myelin sheath. You see the ganglion I was talking about. Yes. What is E?
We can say cell membrane of the cell.
So
It's
Depending on what.
cell membrane, cell body. What are they asking here? Here they didn't ask anything. So we can see it's a cell body. It's a cell body. And then they are saying that F is, that one is clear. Is what? It's a cytoplasm. All right. So now they're saying, name the type of neuron in the diagram above. What is it? Motor neuron. What is B? Okay, what is B? We said what is B?
Nucleus.
A nucleus. What is F?
Cytoplasm.
Cytoplasm. What is A?
Dendrites.
Dendrite.
Dendrite. Okay. So I see. I think now you see that this thing can be done if you give it time. There are some people who are asking me. Yes, we are about to write. I'm going to the. Don't worry about me, about life science. I know, because there is no need for me to rush. If don't worry about it. The master of evolution. All right, we will go. Give the letter of the name of the parts. Transmits impulse away from the cell body.
Exon.
From the cell body, yeah.
Yeah,
Exon.
the axon.
Axon.
They are saying that
C.
give the letter and the part and the name.
C. Exon.
C. Exon.
Yes.
C is axon. Yes. You see, insulates and speeds up. Did you see what I was talking about? That you need to talk about it insulates and speeds up, or it speeds up by insulating it.
The first one.
Yes.
D.
So what is the answer? D, which is the myelin sheath. And name the condition caused by the progressive degeneration of part D.
Is
Multiple.
multiple sclerosis.
Multiple sclerosis. Someone was also asking me, and I directed that person. That's the synapse. Also, you were asking about and the significance, and then multiple sclerosis is here. We're saying that degenerative disease which result when the myelin sheath, you see, when the myelin sheath surrounding the neuron in the basically the brain is what is damaged. So once it starts to grow up, then you'll be suffering from that disease. And then these are some of the symptoms you'll be having. I think we are done with that.
So what's the
Sorry, what's the answer for 4.4?
Oh, multiple sclerosis. This one, multiple sclerosis.
Okay.
Yeah, we only have two diseases or disorders when it comes to the nervous system. Is Alzheimer's disease or multiple sclerosis. Nothing else.
Okay.
Then we go to, I think you can do that. You'll do that yourself. Let's go to this one. So if you do it now and then you find a challenge, you come back to us. Yes. So now we are going to question 6. Let's label because we saw it, Mr. M and Mrs. W. What is A?
Receptor.
Receptor. Receptor. Receptor. A is the receptor.
A is the stimulus.
Do you say finger there? Is it a finger?
What's that? This is receptor because the sensory neuron would be G.
Is the stimulus.
Serious.
The impulse.
It's sensory
Impulse.
Yes, the sensory neuron. A is a sensory neuron.
G the sensory.
G is the root.
Yes.
It's the root, which we call dorsal root. Yes, where the neuron passes. And the swelling is called the ganglion. That's why it's called. So G is the dorsal root. Yes. What is F?
F is the interneuron.
Interneuron. What is E?
The spinal.
The spinal cord. What is D?
Synapse.
The synapse. Kanti, what is the function of the synapse?
And direct the impulse in one way.
It allows impulse to move in one direction. What is B?
What is B?
B is
Motor neuron.
Motor neuron. And what is C?
Effector.
The effector. Yes. So the people who are asking me about the effector, it could be a muscle because we say muscle there. If you don't remember the word effector, it can be a muscle. But in myelin sheath, we don't have any other name.
What?
Dorsal root.
Dorsal root.
Dorsal
Okay.
root. Dorsal root. Do we have it here? Yes, you see it. The word is dorsal root. Yes, and then the lower one where the spinal, the motor neuron moves out, we call it the ventral root.
Ventral root. Okay, okay.
Yes. Huh. We continue. We continue.
Sorry, sir.
Specific. Are you in class?
Yes, sir,
Sorry.
I'm in class.
All right.
Sorry, sir. Sorry, sir. The gap there in D, what did you say? What is this?
Okay, let's answer them. They're saying that give the letter on each of the following. C. What is C? We say that C is the muscle or the effector. And D, the gap or the microscopic gap. It's called a what? A synapse. Yes,
Synapse.
it has a gap. It has a gap. If you check it, check. It has a gap. Yeah. So they're saying that what is E? We say the E is the spinal cord. What is F? F, we said it is interneuron. And then what is G?
G is a
It's dorsal root.
Ventral
Dorsal
root.
root.
Dorsal root. Yes. So guys, if they bring such question, these are the questions they're gonna bring. Yeah, they're gonna bring them, and then the problem is now here you're answering, and then when it comes to the paper, it shies you. Huh?
A1.
For real. You're gonna start singing for roar. No, no for roar. No for roar. Wouldn't mind. All right. Explain one consequence for the body if A is damaged. You see now? We know it now.
Where's A?
Oh,
The person won't be able to
sense
The person will not be able to
sense
the
but
stimulus.
but
They'll be able to respond or
No, the person won't be able to feel the pain. Yeah.
but will be able to respond.
Yeah.
Like when you take Panado. You won't be able to feel the pain. When you take Panado, the pain goes. But who told you that the what was causing the pain is gone? See there.
But you feel the pain. If you
After you have taken the Panado, the Panado will block the what? Yeah, will block the sensory because so that you don't feel the pain. When you go to remove the tooth,
So
what happens to you? They inject you. Ne? You don't feel the pain. But if the doctor asks you, open the mouth. Okay, open the big mouth.
So it's still not
You open, meaning that you're able to respond.
So you are able to respond but not feel anything.
Aha. It means that now the sensory neuron is blocked. Guys, problems have come. Yo. Oh, I thought my pen is done. I thought I have to charge.
Oh, okay.
But I can use the fingers still. All right. We continue. They're saying that explain, we are done with that. Explain 2 examples of reflex action. So now here we need to know something. The first question which you need to know when it comes to the reflex action, you need to know when it comes to this, you need to know what is the reflex action. What's the reflex action? Action. What is the reflex arc? The examples, the function. You understand? So you need to know what is the reflex action. Reflex action is the rapid automatic response to the stimulus. So you need to know the definition. Then you need to know what's the reflex arc. Is the path traveled by the impulse during the reflex action. Is the path traveled by the impulse during the what? The reflex action. That is the reflex arc. Then you need to know some of the examples of the reflex action. You can talk about the knee jerk.
It's at the beginning or at the end.
Sorry?
The first act is at the beginning or
Beginning of what?
Coughing.
it's happening at the beginning.
Is a trouble. That's where the root, the reflex arc is where the impulse passes. That path, where did you pass when you were coming here?
Oh,
From your home?
I came from the sky.
Wherever you passed. So we shall call that path where you traveled. Yes, if you are an impulse, bring about the reflex action. So that path where you traveled until here is what we call a reflex arc.
so in broad, it's traveling would be your reflex.
Yes.
Then reflex, wait,
Reflex action is what? Yes, is
you driving.
you are the impulse.
Is the
Yes.
reflex. What?
So now you need to know what is the reflex action, rapid automatic response to the stimulus. Reflex arc, the path traveled by the impulse during the reflex action. Let me explain to you here. When it moves like this, from here, from the pain, it goes like this, goes like this. You see that root in blue is the reflex arc.
So, oh, I understand. So it's before.
You understand? And then now,
Yeah.
these muscles are going to contract rapidly and you remove the hand from the hot object. That's the reflex action. So it's rapid and you don't have control over it.
This action is zero.
You understand? And then now, the example, what is the example? Now that's when you talk about you remove the hand from the hot object and the knee jack. If you step on a sharp object, you remove the leg immediately. When you throw a stone to your eyes, you have to blink very fast. Yes. Or insect coming to you, even if it's small, you will see it and you close the eye very fast. In actual sense, the way how this thing is that even if there is a mirror in front of you, it is triggered that the eyes are supposed to close. If you're driving and a fly comes and then hits your windscreen, still you do like this, thinking that the fly is gonna what? Hit your eye. Because that it does not involve the brain. It is only the spinal cord. Why? Because the brain is slow. You have to think and then you respond to decide. Here is very fast.
Cut.
Yes. So that is the reflexy arc. Then you need to know why is it important?
Because
you need to know why is the reflex action the function.
Sure.
Why do we need it? Is to protect the body from
External,
from internal and external.
danger. Protect the body from external danger.
How internal?
Internally, yeah.
Is to protect the body from harm, further harm.
No, sir.
Or from
Homostatic, homostatic.
That's
You may
external.
no.
Give me one example of reflex action. One example of reflex action which is internal.
Coughing.
It's not
Easy.
When your chest
hemorrhage.
What?
Hemorrhage.
Hemohygiene.
No.
I don't know that one. I don't know that one. So they're saying that draw a diagram of an axon B to show the structure. Meaning that what's axon B?
for motor neuron.
Did I say axon? Did I say
Say neurons.
neuron? Oh, I think I'm hungry.
Sensory
Uh-huh.
neuron.
It means that you're supposed to draw what?
Get chippies for answering
Me too.
I didn't give you chippies for answering correct.
Ask you first before you give the class.
Me
so
too.
that you neglect your own
Because you
class.
know, as in case of those who didn't.
But the chippies you have eaten, you guys, from me. Still you want chippies?
I've never had chippies from
When?
How much chippies did you eat? Even is laughing at me. So, guys, we come back. We are saying that which neuron are we drawing? B.
The motor neuron.
So it's a motor neuron. So it means, yeah, so it means that you're supposed to draw this. This. That's why I said that they bring more of this. They bring more of this and this. So you cannot go to the paper without knowing the drawing. So in paper one, you need to draw, you know how to draw the sperm, the ovum, the neuron. Yes, those are diagrams we usually bring in paper 1.
Mm-hmm.
We got the next question. Now, before I go to the next question, let me just come back here. Just here.
So have you ever said
Wait.
to paper?
Sir, please, can you search this question? It's on the first arc and action. Sir, look for this question. It's on the first arc.
Yeah, we'll go there.
It's difficult.
So how is the impulse moving? What's the direction of the impulse?
Oh,
From A to
from
A
A
to the terminal
terminal
branches
branches of the
exon. Yeah.
So the impulse along the neuron moves.
From the dendrite.
Remember, dendrite brings the impulse to the cell body, and then the axon takes the impulse away from the cell body. So it means that it comes from dendrite to the cell body, ne? To the axon, then to the terminal branches of the
Exon.
axon.
Mhm.
You want to sing for me?
No.
Dendrite.
Meeting is being recorded.
Oh, sorry.
Who is recording? Okay, they're saying that axon, dendrite,
Dendrite.
Cell body.
Wait, let's start.
axon,
1, 2,
Uh-huh.
3, go.
cell body, axon,
Terminal
branches of the axon. So that's how the impulse is moving. Dendrite, cell body, axon, terminal branches of the axon. So they can ask you that question. So now it means that you are able to answer that question. Okay, let's go back to the next thing.
Sir, look for
So we say that we're gonna choose another one. You say that they had one. You said you want this one. Also the other one was asking me the question about it. Okay, let's find out why is it hard and why do you say it's hard? Okay.
It's not hard, it's confused. Choosing them.
Diagram below shows two possible pathways, A and B, which a nerve impulse may follow in human body. You have the brain, you have number one, I don't know what is that, is a bundle of fibers, bundle of the what? Neurons. Meaning they are nerves, ne? Path A and path B. But if you check critically, you see that path A starts from here, goes here, the spinal cord, comes out of the spinal cord. Definitely, that is a reflex arc. What about path B? It goes here, and then goes to the brain. That can't be a reflex arc. And then comes back because we say the brain is slow. So it cannot protect the body.
It's a reflex action.
No,
No,
it's the normal.
it's a normal.
Yeah, because it involves the brain.
That way is the first arc.
You see?
What is it called?
I was right.
Mm.
It's following the nervous system.
Okay. They're saying that what path A or B represents a reflex arc. So we said it's body. Remember, the reflex arc is when the impulse moves from the receptor to the spinal cord to the effector. You see? Yes. So it means that it's part. Give a visible reason in the diagram for your answer.
So I order because the pathway is before the brain.
Before. Because it does not involve the brain.
It's still the same thing, man.
It only involves the spinal cord. Yes. Describe the importance of the reflex action. You see the questions. You see these questions are saying that if you are talking about the reflex action, what you're supposed to know. Now the answer asking you the same question. What's the function of the reflex action?
To respond automatically to the external environment.
To respond automatically to the internal environment, external environment.
Yeah.
How is that important?
To protect
To
the
protect the
body
body against
How does it protect the body?
against injury.
How does it protect the body? Yeah. Yeah. How does it protect the body? It's not there.
Allow the body to respond very quickly.
Good. That's it. That's it. How does it protect the body? By responding quickly.
Oh, I thought it was your shoe.
You understand?
Yes.
That's how this the reflex arc, reflex action protects the body. We said it protects the body from the danger. But how? By responding quickly. You touch the hot object before you think the hand is out. By the time you know that you are burnt, the hand is already what? Out. Yes. So it protects the body from danger by responding quickly. You understand? Yes. So that rapid is a key point. Identify the part of the nervous system represented in diagram 1.
Madam.
For the spinal cord.
The part of nervous system. They say identify the part of nervous system
Yes, the spinal
represented
the spinal cord.
by 1.
By one.
This is the spinal cord.
Marawena. Confusing.
This is the spinal cord.
This is at one. So one is the spinal cord.
Yes. You see, you're the one who's confusing yourself.
Spinal cord.
The medulla oblongata is by the body. It's not here. Your medulla oblongata is here.
Medulla what?
Medulla oblongata is here.
Okay, nervous system is divided into 2. 1.
Spinal cord.
Central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. Oh, the central nervous system is divided into 2 years.
The
The
brain
brain
and
and spinal cord.
So now what is 1?
It's the spinal
The
cord.
spinal cord.
Is it spinal cord?
It's the medulla oblongata.
Oh, Jesus.
Because there
Oh
is
my,
spinal
oh
cord.
my God.
It's the
There,
spinal.
wait, there is a spinal cord,
Cord.
and then at the spinal cord there's a medulla oblongata. And then yeah.
So when is the medulla oblongata?
Yes.
It can't be medulla oblongata way. No, when you see medulla oblongata, this one, it looks like that. Medulla oblongata. There we go.
It's the vertebrae. Yes.
So now what is inside here?
The vertebrae.
Nerve.
You see, what is this tube which goes down?
The spinal cord.
Oh. So, okay, what is this? Spinal cord, eh?
Yes.
Okay.
Isn't it the vertebrae?
The vertebrae.
She wanted to say the vertebrae, that column.
That column, the vertebrae.
Vertebral column.
Yes.
Oh, this can also be called the vertebrae.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Vertebrae.
Didn't they already illustrated
But that's the bone. But what is inside there
the spinal
is the
cord?
spinal cord.
Yes, I was right.
There is something which if I remember it, I'll tell you. Explain one reason why, explain one way in which the myelin sheath is important to the function of the neuron.
Because the myelin sheath and insulate the axon
speeds up.
and speed up.
Let me hear from someone from online. Let me hear from someone online.
Susan.
I should just Susan. Susan is her first day today. So junkie. Who is a junkie? Junkie. They are saying that they are saying that please give us the answer. East side junkie. Okay, east side junkie. They are saying that give us the answer. What is the function? Explain what is it. What's the question? Explain one way in which myelin sheath is important to the functioning of the neuron. But junkie just joined the class now. You want to bring stress to people. Okay, Zintle, what can you say?
In 9.5.
Yes.
In switching the axon and speeding up transmission of impulses.
Yes, it insulates and then speeds up the transmission of what? Of impulse. Isn't it what we said? Even here we talked about it, that insulates and speeds up the transmission of the what? Of the impulse, you see. So you see that when they are setting these questions, let me tell you something. They don't set any new question. No new question is gonna be said. Just do these questions I give you, and then I see. When the paper comes back, you will tell me stories that Wait.
TV if I get a distinction.
Yeah, you want to be on TV if you get a distinction. Yes, I will invite you here. We invite you here and then you tell us the story.
Even me.
No problem. Cynthia, if you get a distinction, you'll be invited in the studio. And then you tell us the story.
Don't come in this situation.
I'll be great.
Then they're saying that describe how the person would be affected if the axon on neuron 2. Describe how the person would be affected if the person of if the axon of neuron 2 was cut. Now neuron 2.
Sure.
Oh, here. Yes, what will happen if the motor neuron is damaged?
The impulse won't be
No, the person will be able to.
respond.
No, if it's cut, the person will be able to sense,
The impulse
but
won't
they
be
won't be
able.
able to respond.
The impulse won't be able to be transmitted away from the cell body.
So
Where are you getting these answers?
They're talking about the exon.
They're saying what?
The exon, the functions of the exon is to transmit the impulse
Away from the cell body.
axon of neuron 2 is the motor neuron.
Oh,
But it's still fine. It's still fine. Your answer is getting there. Yeah, it's still fine. Her answer has the core. Yeah, wait. We want to modify. The impulse will be sent away from the cell body
yeah.
of axon 2. So what now?
And the person won't
Because
be
they're saying describe how the person will be affected.
Oh, the person won't be able to respond to the stimulus.
The person will not be able to respond to the stimulus. So you have to complete the statement. But will be able to
To receive.
what? To receive like you're being paid for. You say I receive.
The sense,
Let me hear from the people from online. Who is giving us the answer? Nkosana specific. What can you say?
junkie run away. He's not there anymore. Junkie's not there anymore.
No, it's there.
He's away.
That was
He can run away.
Yes, specific.
away.
Hey, specific. So now you're hearing and you're busy laughing. Yeah. Okay. He said that the person.
No, I was saying the person will be able to receive that. What's the question about? How
Describe
are they
how
going
the
to
person.
Okay, they'll be able to receive the message, and then they'll be able to what's the word? The motor neuron will send the electrical impulse to an
The person will be able, look, this neuron, the axon is damaged, but this one is working. The person will be able to receive, meaning will be able to sense the stimulus. You see?
Yes.
But the person, check, it can't cross yet the muscles, meaning that the muscles cannot contract. Meaning that the person will be able to detect the stimulus, but the person will not be able to respond.
Okay.
Yes. It's like putting the card in the machine. You will be able to see the money, but you will not be able to withdraw the money if the machine is damaged. You understand?
Yes.
So they're saying that describe path B. 6 marks. Path B. So now here you are trying to tell us that what is happening here?
So
Yes, path B. Meaning that you have to tell us that
So we say the impulse will be changed.
The impulse will be changed. The impulse.
The stimulus will be changed. Yeah, converted to an impulse that will travel through the sensory neuron. From the sensory neuron to the yes. You see the interneuron. Interneuron all the way to the brain.
Mhm.
And then from the brain will
Who is talking? Who is talking? We are discussing, huh?
the brain will convert
stimulus.
this. No, it's already an impulse. Then the brain will send the impulse down to the motor neuron. Yes, it comes back down to the motor neuron.
Which part of the brain in the
Yes, it goes down to the motor neuron, and then from the motor neuron, it changes it a response in the effect.
Huh? Okay. So basically, you will be able to detect the stimulus and you change it into a nerve impulse. Then the nerve impulse will move along the sensory neuron. It will enter the spinal cord via the dorsal root. You understand? And then it will connect to the interneuron, isn't it? Which interneuron connects to the brain to receive the interpretation, which brings back the interpretation to the motor neuron. You understand?
What is the which neuron?
Here, the sensory neuron will connect to the interneuron, which takes the information to the brain.
The interneuron is connected to the brain.
Yes.
Okay.
Interneuron is part of central nervous system.
And which
Yes,
part of
and then which brings back the information to the connector neuron, to the motor neuron. You understand?
Yeah.
Remember, the information is in form of an impulse, and then the interneuron the motor neuron will move out of the spinal cord via the ventral root to the what? To the effector, and then the effector will bring about the effect. Yeah, so here you just tell us how does the impulse move to there and then it comes
So which
back
part
to
of the brain interpret the impulse?
you're saying?
Which part of the brain interpret that message?
Which part of the what?
The brain
Hmm?
interpret that
The
message.
cerebrum, it controls higher thought process.
You say that now is the body.
This
Nana, what is this? Where is it coming from? They didn't talk about anything here.
Yeah.
Unless it's coming from there. We don't know whether it's coming from the eye. We don't know whether it's coming from there. But since it's a sensation,
Came from nature.
since it's a sensation, then it's cerebral. It's a center for it receives and interprets all the sensation. If it is painful, if you are seeing, yeah, still the same thing. So it goes to the cerebrum.
it did go straight to the reflex app. It wouldn't necessarily because
And these muscles might not necessarily mean these muscles. It could mean muscles of the heart, it could mean muscles of the stomach, it could mean because it could be hunger. Yes. So it might not just mean just the muscles you see. Uh,
5 minutes. What are you doing 5 minutes?
what am I gonna do in 5 minutes? I cannot do a lot of things.
What would they
Nah. Shh. Shh.
I'm gonna do
Shh.
10 minutes for
So let's do the labeling of the eye. What is A?
A is the iris.
Iris. What is B?
B is the sclera.
Conjunctiva.
Is the sclera
Conjunctiva is the outer layer.
side.
So then what's the
No, you see this layer, this layer.
here?
So that's the
Cornea.
conjunctiva. So that is inside. It's the what? Cornea. What is C?
Okay.
The
Choroid.
Choroid. What is D?
the retina.
The red.
Retina.
Yellow spot.
Retina.
How? G is the yellow spot. Is the blind spot.
The blind spot retina. Because the
G
blind
is the
spot is
blind
in
spot.
the
This is what?
Blind spot.
the retina blind spot.
B. B is the
D.
B. Is the what?
Blind
B is the yellow spot.
Oh, yes.
Blind
Blind
spot.
Yes, yellow spot is this is where the clearest image is formed. And then E is the
optic nerve.
optic nerve. Then this is the vitreous humor,
Vitreous humor.
while this is the aqueous humor.
Vitreous humor.
This is the lens. This is the suspensory
Yeah, suspensory.
suspensory ligaments.
Ligaments.
This
This is ciliary muscle.
ciliary muscles. This
Sclera.
is the sclera.
Yeah.
Ne? This is the blind spot.
Yeah.
That's where there are no rods and cones. There are no photoreceptors. So if the image falls there, you cannot see. That's why it's called a blind spot. You can't see anything. So you guys make sure that you know how to label the eye. Yes, know how to label the eye. If you don't know how to label the eye, yeah, you'll be eyed in the exam.
You will be blind.
Make sure. You know, sometimes the way you do your things, I get, I fail to understand. Someone can label an atom he has never seen, but can fail to label the eye he has. He. You talk about, you tell stories of Napoleon Bonaparte you have never seen. You have never seen. You have never gone even to Europe. You don't know what is it. You talk about what castles, but you fail to answer the questions what you have. What if you have been to Europe? At least you have been there. There is no problem. Yeah, but now you have never gone there. You just hear it, but you fail. You pass it, and you fail something you have. It means that you don't value what you have. That's how I conclude it. And guess what? Blind people can answer these questions more than the people who have eyes. Yeah, call the child to be in class. telling you that. He's telling you that you have to give the answers correct. Plus the answers. Okay. So we are done with that. Let's go through the questions here. What are they saying? What regulates the amount of light entering the eye? So it is A. It's A.
The iris.
It regulates the amount of light entering the eye. Why? Because the iris will control the size. This iris will control the size of the pupil. You understand? Yes. So it will regulate the amount of the light entering the eye. Supplies food and oxygen to the eye.
Chorion.
The choroid. There is a difference between the chorion and the choroid. Chorion
With the egg.
it is in the egg, unless you have eggs in your face. So choroid. This is the choroid.
This is excellent, sir.
Yes. And then chorion is there in the egg. Ne? Yeah, I know you like eggs, but please don't bring it here. Transmits impulse to the brain.
E.
Now, remind me, which part of the brain?
Cerebrum.
Cerebrum. Why cerebrum?
This sensation from the brain.
This is a sensation. Contains cones, and it's where the clearest image is formed. B, which is the yellow spot. Assist in the refraction of light. Refraction of light means ending. So is the cornea, ne? Yes. So let's wind up with this. On Monday, we're gonna talk about the pyrale mechanism. Yes, that one is simple. Accommodation, the ear, and then we're gonna talk about the endocrine system. Welcome to the disaster. So make sure that, yes, don't tell me that we must skip. So it means that we have to shoot from there until the end of homeostasis.
Then we need to
So it's 3 hour class.
It's a 2 hour class.
we need to increase our class. maybe 2 times. Please.
So, don't worry, you also increase the money.
No, sir. That's
We are saying that what is A?
A is the ciliary muscle.
Cell muscles.
Yes.
What is B?
Suspensory ligament.
What is the
Iris, sorry.
Iris. What is C?
Lens.
The lens. Yes. What is F?
The sclera.
The
Sclera.
sclera. That's the one which protects the eye.
Yeah.
Ne. What is E?
Choroid.
Choroid.
Retina.
Choroids. That's which supplies what?
Nutrient and oxygen.
Yes. What is D?
Optic nerve.
Optic
Now a
nerve.
question. I'm going to ask you now a question. Since now you know how to label, now I'm going to ask you questions. Which part of the eye gives it its shape?
Oh, the sclera. No, the ventris. No, the ventris.
So what did you say?
Which part of the eye
Gives
maintains the shape of the eye?
the sclera.
This.
Maintains the shape. Or it gives
This one.
the eye its shape.
The
Sclera.
The conjunctiva.
He said maintains the shape of the whole eye.
What part of the eye brings the shape of the eye?
It's the
The
cornea.
ventris.
It's the cornea.
The cornea is the front part.
You guys are busy betting in my class, ne?
The sclera.
You are busy betting. You think you're gonna win.
The eye.
I said the sclera.
The answer is
The ventris.
vitreous humor.
Vitreous humor.
Yes, it has the fluid. Yes, it.
It gives the shape. To maintain the shape is not the sclera. It's like saying that the aqueous humor gives the shape. The aqueous humor gives the shape. The cornea
Yeah.
is the one which maintains the
We
shape.
don't talk too much, then let's go to our dissertation. But
Which part of the eye protects the eye?
Protects
Is-
the eye.
is the
From the internally.
is the sclera.
The sclera, this one. Yes.
Supported.
Uh-huh.
And the
Yeah, it supports. So it gives the shape. Uh-huh. We got the next one. Which part of the eye becomes slackened during accommodation?
the suspensory ligament.
Suspensory ligaments. So we're gonna look at it again. Then which part of the eye has the highest photoreceptors? Highest concentration of photoreceptors?
Yellow.
The retina. Is it? It's not the
The
retina.
retina.
No, it's the colors is the clouding, ne? So it would be the lens.
The lens. Cataracts.
The clouding of
That's it.
Mhm.
It's cataracts. So the lens become cloudy
Cloudy.
and opaque. Anyway, so guys, I'm going to stop here today. So when I come back, you guys who have the distinction material book, please make sure that you read from here. Yeah, basically from accommodation, pyramid mechanism, I'm gonna repeat it. I know we covered it, but I'm gonna repeat it again. And then we cover all this, you see, until there.
Tropism, it's the easiest one. That's why we give it 8 marks in a paper.
Yes, so we're gonna cover until there. Then after that, I'll give you work. You go and practice so that on what?
This from 8.
I might see you 2 times next week because it is a long week, and then it means that if I'm able to see you tropism and then I also touch now evolution by natural selection, so that when I meet you again,
What about those who are
I meet you again. Yes. Even if you are doing grade 12,
now.
It's your benefit because at least you'll be ahead. everyone. Yes. So that at least by the end of the next week, this week, we will be here. Human evolution is only 2 lessons. We are done. And then now we talk about revision. Guys, do you have any question?